Welcome to the Magic on the Inside podcast by the Sisters Enchanted, where we chat magic, hot topics, personal development, and good old-fashioned life. Brew up something delicious and sit with us for a spell.
Hey there, this is Anna from the Sisters Enchanted here for another episode of the Magic on the Inside podcast for our week ahead Astro forecast with Sarah Milne, one of our co-teachers in Expedition Astrology. Good morning, Sarah.
Oh, hi. How are you doing this morning?
Sleepy. I'm still sleepy this morning. How about yourself?
I am very tired too, because followers of this podcast will know the house dilemma, and it's done. But we had to exchange and complete within 24 hours. So it was exhausting, but it's done. Now we wait for the next part to happen, but it's done, which is a big relief because it looked like it was going to fall through many a time.
Yes.
It all happened at once in the end. So I'm also tired today. Just like everything just hit me, like how stressful it's been, how close we came to it collapsing several times, and how I had to get up and start cleaning the house from 6 a.m, ready for the new people.
You did it.
I did it.
It's over.
Yeah.
And now just new and fun things.
That's right. And it's quite cool because the theme for this week is really like, it's a fun week in the sky this week. It's fun. We do have to worry a little bit about boundaries and discipline because it's kind of so fun. It's a real like holiday summer vibe this week. So the first thing is that Venus is going into Virgo, and that's so Venus in Virgo, it's really like seeking beauty and perfection, and seeking beauty in everything you desire, seeing beauty in all the things you desire and love. So it's really nice. It's a nice place for Venus to be, and it's also opposite to Jupiter as well this week from Tuesday to Saturday. Now we know that in opposition we have these planets kind of pulling against each other, tug of war, kind of wanting to work together, but just being it's a bit like kind of being with someone and you're collaborating with them and you're kind of working, but you're also jostling a little bit, and it's kind of pulling that way in this way, but you're trying to sort of reach that happy creative spot in the middle, but you're sort of not quite kind of on the same page. It's a lot like that. But this kind of like, because Jupiter is this planet of expansion, and we've talked a lot about how it's the planet of luck and abundance, but it's mainly that because it helps us to see our opportunities. It's not just like here's the abundance on your lap, it's just like here are the opportunities for you to take, and it's up to us if we take them or not, but Jupiter will help us find them. Now at the moment it's summer party season. In normal world, some people are managing to get away on holiday at the moment. Some people somewhere perhaps. I know in the UK it's very much holiday at home and go on holiday in parts of the UK, but it's still that kind of vibe. Schools are breaking up and people are going on holiday, and it's kind of is that kind of atmosphere really. This aspect blows up your desires. It's kind of like if you imagine going on holiday and all the things you want, all the ice cream you want, summer romances. This is Venus, of course, but it can lead to overindulgence in pleasure, which is okay on holiday, but it's like holiday food, holiday fun, holiday romance.
It's like having an all-inclusive vacation where you like drink too much the first 2 days and like you can't participate for the rest of it because you need a break. Too much.
That's exactly it. Or finding a holiday romance and just going off with them and missing out on the city that you're in because you're just spending your time with someone it's not going to last anyway, kind of thing. And because Jupiter's in Pisces and Venus is fresh into Virgo, so just beginning to settle in that energy, it is going to bring us that real festival vibe. We've talked quite a lot about Pisces being that festival energy where you just lose your own individuality and just become at one with everyone around you. So it's really important, have fun, do all these things, but have those boundaries. Just like, is this what I really should be doing? Are these people that I really want to be spending all this time with, and how am I going to be able to just get back to normal life? And this just brings us to the other point with this aspect, is that at this time of year we can often be busy working and everyone around us is having parties and barbecues and on holiday, festivals, and we're just working, and it can be really hard to stay motivated because the sun's out. I felt this before. The sun's out, other people are away, other people are having fun, and you just think, I'm just going to sit in the garden and pour myself a gin and tonic or Pimm's and lemonade and just get my book and read, and because everyone else is having fun. But then you've got work to do, and the work is important, so it can be hard to stay motivated. It might be that this Venus Jupiter opposition is coming at a time when you can't enjoy that summer vibe. You have to stay work because you're busy working. Your holiday maybe you might have had it, or it might be a few weeks time, so you have to dig in deep and stick to your discipline during this time, but find moments to expand on the things you do desire. So maybe just like, okay, I've got to work, I'm going to do 6 hours work or 8 hours work, and then I am going to sit in the garden, or maybe I'm going to schedule my work today so that I'll do more in the evening when it's got cooler, and I will take my break for 2 hours. I'll take a 2-hour break in the afternoon to sit in the sun. Find a way to kind of enjoy a little bit of that energy, because that will help you to stay focused and disciplined on your work. If you deny it to yourself altogether, you might just find that you're just throwing the work out the window and just going out anyway.
Is it like me getting up at 5:15 in the morning to do astro forecasts?
Absolutely, I know. But then you can have some fun in the sun now because you've started really early. Exactly. That's exactly it. Like, find a way. Anna got up really early to do this astro forecast today. Because, we're trying to find a spot we can do.
I, as somebody who has Venus in Virgo in my chart, I will say, when you were saying trying to find like the beauty and the perfection and everything, and like being able to see everything and making everything beautiful, I mean, I don't think that I make everything look beautiful, but here at the Sisters Enchanted, like I do a lot of the branding things and stuff, and so and I like set up everything. I guess I really do I never really thought about that about myself, that I even when I plate like a bowl of just like spaghetti and sauce, I like twirl it and make it pretty. Like, everything that I do is like next level presentation. And we always end up using my home spaces for like Sisters Enchanted photo shoot things and such because of my decorated spaces. So that is so true.
Anything that you see from Sisters Enchanted that looks really pretty and beautiful, Anna's on it. So yeah, that's so true. That's so true. And Sarah and I are Sagittarius, and we'll just give her like all this stuff, and she turns it into something really beautiful.
Well, you've been doing a really good job lately yourself. I have not fixed like or redone like anything lately because you're on.
That's because I use your templates, your beautiful templates, and just insert new text and new things in there and swap that picture for that one. So I'm learning.
Perfect.
I'm learning.
It's perfectly beautiful.
Brilliant. So that's how we work here. Teamwork is brilliant.
Yes.
Absolutely fantastic.
Dream work.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, spend time with those you love. Spend time doing these things. It's really important. You might be working over the summer, but do find time to have fun, to be creative, and spend time with the people you love. That's dead important. And then we have the sun in Leo, which even adds even more, because the sun goes into Leo this week, so that's even more of this kind of holiday vibe. Leo, it's its sun's own sign. It's like, I am radiant, I am glorious, I am, you want to be like me, you want to follow me, like, here I am and having my sunny time on this beach or on this savannah as the lion, and you want to be like me, you want to be in my gang. But then Leo, and I loved it, and Anna, you said recently that Leo is like Mufasa in the Lion King. I really love that, because we often sort of see Leo as so cocky and so just kind of like, follow me because I'm just so cool. But then when we do follow Leo, when people do follow us and follow our Leo elements in ourselves, we care deeply about them. We've just seen in the UK, we've just seen our football team sadly lose the European Cup in the final in penalty shootout, and it was heartbreaking. And this poor young lad at 19 took the penalty and missed. Well, he got it saved, and you saw the coach just giving him such, not just a pat on the back, but such a huge caring hug. That's Mufasa. That's Leo energy. It's just like, you're in my team, I know how you feel, and I care deeply how you feel, and I'm going to help you feel better again. Come here. That's very much Leo. And So we have this great pride in ourselves and this great pride in those that we care about and those who follow our example, kind of like people that like are inspired by us and like, yeah, great, I love seeing what's up with the Sisters Enchanted, the astrology courses and holistic witchery, when we're just like really celebrate everyone's achievements. That's kind of Leo energy. It's not just like, oh, well done, we're really happy for you. It's real like, yes, I'm so happy for you.
It's, besides that Mufasa kind of thread that I've thrown, I also, which I don't know if I've shared this before, but I think way back when, maybe in the beginning of the Sisters Enchanted, I've shared this thought on Leo energy also, and especially when it's Sun in Leo and it's the summertime, well, depending on where you are. To me, also, Leo Sun energy is kind of like a super fantastic 80s big hair like anthem, like energy, like that Leo, like whoosh, like that song that comes on that everybody knows and it makes you feel good, but it's like almost like one of those songs that like you're embarrassed that you know and you love, but it's like one of those like great like moments. Leo Sun is like a moment.
yes yeah, so it can make us a bit dramatic. We can just be a little bit like
a big 80s hair band.
Yes, exactly we can, and it is like we can want everyone to like, look at me perform again, like on holiday when you're like, I'm gonna dive off this high rock, watch me. So it can be a bit cocky, so but it's important to remember that loyal time. If we are feeling our ego is getting a little bit too warm and a little bit too sunny, then just remember that loyalty element of Leo as well.
Sure.
Yeah, so that's kind of the things that are really feeding into this holiday vibe, and it's like fun in the sun vibe. So other things to look out for this week, we have Mercury sextile Uranus, which means the energy is flowing super well. This is just on Monday and Tuesday. It's a very quick transit. These two planets are like electric, they're electricity. They're both planets involved in, when we talk about health astrology, they're both involved in electrical impulses and those kind of like very quick things that happen in our body. And so it brings, Uranus we know brings sudden changes and rebellion, and Mercury is that sort of logic and communication. So in this time we're going to have that kind of like, our logic is going to have these sudden rebellious thoughts and this sudden like, oh, I could do this, and these kind of like ideas of new ways of thinking. So you may find that change comes as a result of your communication. So you might communicate, maybe there's something that you've really needed to communicate and you really want to communicate to somebody, but you haven't been able to, and you find a new way during this time to communicate it, and then change comes. So you can control the change. We always say when there's a Uranus activity going on, it can be this sudden unexpected changes, but we can also control those changes. We can use that energy. So it's a really good time to think about things in a new way, to have new thoughts, to change the way you're thinking if you've got some blocks somewhere, and also if you have someone that you really need to communicate something with, to find that new way of, or it might be someone you've tried so hard to communicate something with. There might be a new way of doing it during this time. You might receive sudden news, or you might have a sudden breakthrough. You might suddenly form a new friendship during this time, and it might come about because of something you've shared with somebody on a mental level, or you've used your physical skills in an unexpected way. It might lead to new friendships that are really going to be very important for you. So it's a volatile time, but it is an exciting time. But I know that not everyone, like I'm Sagittarius, like dominated chart, and I love change. I'm scared by it, but I love it. But some of us don't like unpredictability and change. So if that's you, don't worry, this is only going to last those 2 days. So it's quick comes and quick goes, this one.
Yes, I have a high amount of Mercury in my chart.
Yes.
Secondary ruling over my chart, if depending on who you're asking. I say secondary, but huge. And every time Mercury does something, I definitely like notice that it's happening. It's here, it's happening, it's at my front door. Mercury does not play games with me. That little planet brings big news and big communication whenever it does something a little bit.
Yeah,
different.
so you might have an interesting couple of days there, an interesting 48 hours, but it's going to be quick and over. But I think it's exciting. But that's me. Some other people might be here going, oh my goodness, but I'm just, yeah, that's kind of cool. But Mercury is also opposite Pluto, over the weekend from Saturday through to next Monday. This is quite interesting because this is the planet of depth and passion and deep transformation in opposition. So you've got, like we said before, that kind of playing tug and war, but kind of also wanting to do something together. This can really deepen our thoughts for the weekend and our interaction and communication. And I was thinking from that kind of festival holiday vibe, this is almost like when you are away at particularly festivals and things, and you end up sitting around a campfire at 2 a.m. with someone that you've never met before, and you have a really deep conversation, deep philosophical, spiritual conversation that you always remember. And it's like in that moment, that person is the most important person in your life, and they change you. From that conversation changes you. That's the kind of energy for this weekend. So it kind of fits with that festival vibe we've had through the week. We might spend that time alone. We might spend time deep in thought, or we might experience some of those kind of conversations with other people. And it will be transformational for us. It could well be transformational for us. And the moon is in Aquarius into Pisces during that same time. So that's going to bring this kind of like more of that depth, and also that kind of feeling, this kind of interaction, this kind of transformation in relation to other people. And we might sort of think about what we're doing in terms of society and humanity during that time, for sure. And we've just had that Mercury sextile Uranus, bringing us that kind of like, here's a new way of thinking. I feel like this follows that, and it's just, okay, I've had this kind of like sudden electric thought that just occurred to me out of nowhere, and now I'm really pondering on what on earth was that, what on earth responsibility. You know, when we had that kind of awakening moment, like, I feel like I have some responsibility for this. I feel like this is something I need to integrate in my own life, but also with the Aquarius moon for the good of other people. So I feel like that will follow on, and we'll have this kind of like beginning of the week, we'll have this kind of, oh, where did that come from? And then over that weekend, we'll be like, oh, now I really need to think about this and talk to somebody about this and transform from this, I feel.
I like it.
Yes. And then it's going to be cool. And then for the moon this week, it's full moon in Aquarius on Friday with all that Mercury activity, which is why I think it's going to be very much kind of like we're going to be challenged to think about how we are thinking and our responsibilities towards humanity and for the greater good. And that's going to come into next week. So that's going to roll into next week as well. When we talk about next week, it's going to roll into that. So hold those thoughts in. We might have felt old ideas and ways of thinking. We let go of those. I feel like with the full moon, let go of old ideas and old ways of thinking to let space for all this to happen, and to bring that, to let space for that Pluto Mercury opposition to happen, and do it with gratitude. I think sometimes when we talk about let go of old ways of being and old ways of thinking, we're like, well, that was really bad. I shouldn't have thought like that about myself, or I shouldn't have thought like that with other people. But just kind of like do it with gratitude and think, okay, maybe that wasn't the greatest moment of my life, but what have I learned from it? Like, how can I transform from this, and what lessons do I need to learn? And be thankful for it, for the lessons, when you let go of it with the full moon, for sure.
I know Sarah Waka and I did a full moon in Aquarius podcast, and before we wrapped up the podcast, she asked me if there was one thing that I could say about that full moon and like what somebody could do during that time. And I said that I think, and especially now after we talked about that, you know, Mercury sextile Uranus and that Mercury opposition of Pluto, because that's some challenges in the way that you think or might speak, and like you said, creative new ways of thinking. At the end of that podcast, I say I think it's a great week to, or a great full moon to learn something new, or learn something from a perspective in which is not your own.
Yes.
I said, like, go try to learn something new and read an article from somebody that has this opinion way over here, and then read another article that has an opinion way over here, and then read something like down the middle and make your own choice, make your own thought process, make your own opinion, but learn something totally new and read it biased, unbiased. I mean, every way is biased if it's opposite, you know, but like read, like learn something new and challenge yourself to look at something in a way that you didn't before. And that's what I said might be a good thing to do, because that Aquarius energy wants to learn and then wants to tell people things, what they believe. And so that was my takeaway, to like go away and find something new.
Brilliant. That's perfect. That's perfect for this week. I love it. Yay. I love it. Brilliant.
And you can use that creatively too. I mean, really, like if you are somebody who watercolor paints, Maybe for like 1 week, you put down your watercolor and you get some charcoal pencils and see what happens instead, and challenge yourself to learn something in a different way or do something in a different way. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. That's making me think, what can I do?
Yay.
Love it. It's a week to be creative. It's a week to have fun, but just watch the excess a little bit and stay motivated towards your goals. And that's where the boundaries with all this stuff. Don't, just remember your goals and make sure you sort of stay true to your own authenticity and stay motivated to those goals, and do let go of those thought patterns that don't serve you for the highest good of yourself and for the world, because that's coming into next week too. So begin to think of those things.
I like it.
Yeah.
All right, so this week, have some fun, still have some boundaries, and look out for new opportunities to speak your mind in new creative ways, and maybe learn something new. And don't overindulge in any kind of fun behavior unless you're prepared to take a break.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, Sarah, thank you so much.
Thank
All
you.
right. We'll see you all next week on another episode of the Astro Forecast on the Magic on the Inside podcast. And we hope that you have an enchanted rest of your day ahead. Bye.
Bye.